Welcome back to Black Chat. I'm your host, Robbie J. Sitting next to me are Hassan and Paul. And this is part 2 of our questions you're afraid to ask black people. So to start us off, I'm going to start off with question number 5, which is, and I can't wait to hear Paul's answer on this. It should be a good one. Do you speak proper because you're trying to act white?
Yo, is that a joke?
No, this is ChatGPT. I told you it's racist, so you gotta go with it.
I definitely understand how racist ChatGPT is.
Okay, cheers. I appreciate that.
However,
So you hate ChatGPT also?
I can't stand AI, without a doubt. However, do I speak proper because I'm trying to be white? Absolutely not. So what I've come to realize is, because of the society that we live in, people seem to think that black people are ignorant. We're uneducated. And so what I have found is that when we speak proper, use proper English, we tend to get a little bit more respect. See, they fail to realize that we are educated just like everybody else. And so when you look at the color of my skin and think that I don't have an education, yeah, that's when I flip the script. And then I'll start showing you that I have intellect, I have intelligence, and I know more than just the slang terminology. So don't get it twisted. I am a black man with education, hence, educated black king is what I'm wearing on my t-shirt.
So here's a follow-up question to that then. This is not part of ChatGPT. This is Robbie J. So my question to you would be, I've heard there's a stigma in the black community about folks who speak white. So you could say, is the alternative true as well?
Yeah, I think the alternative is true. You have a lot of people in the black community that do speak white. Sometimes,
how is it speaking white if it's proper?
Correct.
It's proper. It's proper. So that's the terminology like, hey, if you're in a very nice community, because you speak proper, you're white. I'll put you like this, man.
Or trying to be white is what they say.
Or we're trying to be.
Code switching is what we
So
call it.
check this out. I have, like my twins, they're very, very different. My oldest twin, we call him Old Man James. So kids don't know how to take James. And the reason why I say that is this. He's very articulate, highly intelligent. And the boy goes to school with a suit and tie on, button down shirt and slacks, and like dress shoes. But he's black as just by anybody else. And I tell him every day, me and my wife both tell him every day, be you. Do people mess with him? They crack jokes, but James walks around with his head held high and he doesn't give a. But he grows up in my house and he knows what being black is. But that's his choice. And if he wants to be articulate and speak how he wants to, go ahead, do your thing. But at the same exact time, ain't nobody gonna mess with him.
All right, my next question is, why are most black people Democrats? I mean, that's not true anymore, but why are most black people Democrats? Like, remember, this is ChatGPT. Don't get mad at me about my questions.
It's true. When I was able to vote, I remember I was registering, and my mother said, okay, vote Democrat. I'm like, wow, she couldn't give me an answer. So she was like, oh, vote. I said, why? And it wasn't until I was in my 20s that I realized, hold up, I don't see the same, I don't view that, the same as, every other one. So I would keep my views on politics kind of quiet.
Right.
Because growing up in a black household, normally they say, we're Democrat. You're like, rites to passage, like you're a Democrat. You're born Democrat. It's just like when I came out to people telling me, listen, I'm not a Democrat. I don't think I believe in this. Now, I'm not trying to say I'm Republican either.
Yeah.
But I see certain things on each side that I like.
Right.
And people always say vote in a way it benefits you. But in the black community, they said vote that benefits us, the way it benefits us. So if I vote to benefit you, then that means I will be, how can I say this? I won't get things the way I want them. So I have to vote, to make your life better. why can't I vote the way I want to vote?
Right.
And I'm not trying to say it's Democrat or Republican, but most of the times it's usually, you vote Democrat if you're black.
Yeah.
Where it comes from, it's history behind it. It's a long story, but you can look it up when the first black Democrat, came about and why.
Yeah. I don't know the story. I don't know the story nor the history. However, if you look at it, the way I've seen it being prior military, when you look at Democrats, they typically try to do more stuff for the community, right? They try to put money into the community, try to make sure that underprivileged communities have what they need to get by and survive. When you look at the Republican Party, typically, they do stuff typically that benefits them, the military, and everybody else. So for me, do I vote? I vote when I feel like something, if the candidates are actually going to fulfill things that's going to benefit everyone as a whole. Like, straight up, do I believe in voting for the president? Why? I believe that everything, when it comes down to votes, is about the people that's in the House and the Senate. Why? Because they are the ones that make sure stuff gets done. To me, the president's a figurehead.
See, I don't think it matters. I think that both parties are the exact same. That's where I would come down. I think they're both both elitist scumbags, and I don't think either one of them care about you, if you really want my real opinion. So voting one particular way doesn't solve any issues, because what we really need to do is go back, in my opinion, to our country's founding, which was that we had farmers and regular folk who were appointed to go serve as congressional representatives. They were normal people. They weren't elitists. They weren't billionaires. They weren't trillionaires. They were actually representative of the places that they came from. That's just not true anymore. Now, you could look at that as a connective piece to social media. You could look at that as a connective piece to, well, you don't have enough money to run anymore, which is really true. I mean, you're going to need $1 million to run a campaign now, at minimum, just for a basic office level. So that in and of itself creates an elite cabal, as I call it. I call it the elite cabal, because that's really what's going on. We're really being kind of herded by the elites to do whatever we want them to do. And we'll get into that in the later episodes. I have a lot to say on that.
Yeah, that's smoke and mirrors.
Yeah.
That's smoke and mirrors. The reason why you're not going to see people that are not elitists get elected is because some of the fact they don't have the money to, and the people don't care. It's a smoke and mirrors thing. Somebody can talk a real good game and put it out there and blast everybody that's actually really cares about somebody, but people don't care. It's a smoke and mirrors trick. Sorry.
Is it okay to say black, or should I say African American? That's question number 7. Are you black, Paul, or are you African American?
I'm black.
Why is that?
I was born black, and I'm gonna stay black.
Okay.
Plain and simple. I'm black. Now, just because like somebody want to give me a title as African American doesn't mean that I'm African American. I'm black. I'm not from Africa. My family wasn't from Africa, and they came over here and birthed me. I was born in this country black, and I'm gonna stay black. I don't care what nobody say. Take it how you want it. If I can, sometimes when I see stuff about, hey, race on something, I want to hit others so bad and just put black next to it, because you're trying to tell me what I am when I know what I am. That's what society wants to deem me to be. But society don't control me. Society hasn't raised me. You can't tell me what my skin color is. Straight up, I'm black.
Well, technically, you're not black either then. You're brown. Like, I see brown when I look at myself. But anyway, I kind of agree with you for once. No, I'm serious. I worked with this guy from Egypt. Right? Where's Egypt?
Yeah. It was over in Africa.
It's in Africa, right? I had this conversation with him. I said, you're African American. He looked at me like I was crazy. I said, you're from Africa, right? Where's Egypt? In Africa, right? He said,
you're literally
I said, now you're American, right? You came over here, you have your citizenship here. He said, yeah. I said, you're African American. I'm not, I'm just American.
Yeah.
I'm going to trigger some real people. Elon Musk is African American. I know that people are going to get really pissed about that, but it's true. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, those were the conversations I used to have with people. And he would say, "Oh, but you're black." I said, "My skin color isn't black. Ask a toddler what color your skin is. Guarantee you they said brown." So I don't even agree with black. I don't like it. That's why when they say black and brown people, where are the black people? Now I'm not gonna lie, I've seen some black people that'll color your shirt.
Yeah,
They're the
yeah,
black people.
yeah.
You know, and even white people. When you say white people, no offense, Rob, but you look more peach than white to me. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
Wow.
You're more pink.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So skin color. I don't necessarily. I don't think that's a nationality. My color is not.
Well, I'm European American. I'm okay.
Well, like that.
Appreciate that.
So, like, typically, like when they say that, it's basically because you have the melanin in your skin.
Yeah.
So that's why they say black. So let's keep it a stack.
Well, what color is melanin?
Huh?
What color is melanin? It's not black.
That's the pigmentation that's in your skin.
It's brown.
But
My pigment is brown.
But still, that's the way that it breaks down. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna say that I'm a brown skinned American. I'm a black American. I'm black, and I'm gonna go down saying that I'm black. I don't care if my skin is brown. If my wife is light skinned, she's still a black woman. Straight up. That's the way I see it.
I'm just American.
Yeah, me too. Next question.
All
Ready
right.
for this one? Why don't you all replace the batteries in your smoke detectors? Is there something wrong? I ad-libbed that one, Paul. That's not on here. See, ChatGPT wanted me to ask you whether or not your parents are together, and did you have a dad? And I was like, that's racist as hell. I'm not asking that. So I changed it into why y'all don't want to change the batteries in your smoke detectors.
Some of us.
No, it's the
Don't.
truth.
No,
let me tell you.
no, you don't.
Let me tell you something. I saw a video. Okay, there was a
You're
video
right.
of someone
You're
being
right.
interviewed for Augusta, right down here in Augusta for the Channel 5 or what. I'm just making up the channel. It's 25 or something, and you can hear the thing chirping in the background, like. Burr, 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 burr. I'm like, well, what is with this?
No.
This is a trope, but it's true.
No,
Go
the
ahead.
moment I hear mine, I take the entire smoke detector down until I get a battery. But if you leave it up there chirping, I'm like, it's irritating. And a lot of times you kind of tune it out so it becomes part of your atmospheric noise in your house.
Yes, right.
You know what I'm saying?
No,
So
It's like the dishwasher's going.
Yeah.
Unless you don't use it. Then, right.
No, like I changed that bad boy. I don't know about everybody else, but I changed my battery, my smoke detector, straight up. Like I changed that. But no, I want the real question, bro.
Hold up, do you change yours? You change your battery the moment it starts chirping?
No.
No,
I
like
change it every 6 months like you're supposed to, so your house
Oh,
doesn't
so,
burn
oh,
down.
so, oh, so you don't wait until it starts to chirp to tell you to change.
That's
You just
correct.
change it.
Because you know what happens is, at least in white folks' homes, that bitch will chirp at 3 a.m. and then I'm like, what the hell is going on? We having a fire? Because it's always at the most inopportune time, let's be honest.
Yeah, no, like I was ready for the real question, but that's a nice way to break the mood and get a laugh. Hi.
All right, I'm going to ask you the real question.
That's
then.
the real question.
So the real question is, are your parents together, and did you grow up with a father in the household?
I like that question. Okay. So number one, my mother's dead. For one, my mother's dead. Were they still together? Yes. But it's a difference. I don't care what house you grew up in. Yeah, a father could be in a household, but are you present in the household? That's the real question. See, I think people get things mixed up. Just because you have a man in the house don't mean he's present in the house. That means he's not doing the things like parenting and taking care of responsibilities. That's the difference. See, I don't care. People would like to say, oh, I got a man in the house. I got this in the house. I got a dad in the house. Okay, so what is the person doing? I think that's the big stigma that a lot of folks deal with in society, period. I can respect a woman who decides to do it on her own, raise kids on her own, advice, just having somebody that's just there, taking up air and space. Like my parents was still together, 1,000%. My mother passed away in 2011. And I think that was the greatest relief that she ever had, bar none. So that is a huge misconception right there. The real question is should be asked, is your parents still together, and is the person present? Is he doing what he's supposed to do? That's the question. See, I take that. Yeah, ChatGPT racist as hell with that question.
Well, I don't think that's technical. I don't think it's racist because I know some white households and other nationalities the same way. It's just that ours is normally put in it's shown a little bit more attention.
Yeah.
Because it's
on the
the
forefront.
stereotype of,
Yeah.
that's the whole purpose of the show. The stereotype is that, but that's not necessarily true.
Correct.
And it's not just us.
Correct.
For example, we did a story, and the father that was present, he was just beating the hell out of him. So like, to go into what you said,
Yeah.
A man is in the house, but is he really in there?
Yeah.
Mentally, and a lot of times they check out.
Correct.
And a lot of people stay in those relationships just because they don't want to get a divorce. What's the saying? It's cheaper to keep her.
Yeah.
All that stuff. So like, no, I know different nationalities where the father's not there. He was never there.
Yeah. And like straight up, like,
It's not just us.
yeah, it's everybody.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is like, you got other nationalities where like these guys are in the house and they literally are beating the hell out of these dadgum people, beating the hell out of the women and the kids, like straight like beating, physical abuse. And then it's not physical, it's emotional abuse, it's spiritual abuse. It's like this, man. This is me being real and transparent, right? When you talk about a man being present in the house, you got guys living in the house with these women, single mothers. They're there, but they're being physically, mentally, and emotionally abusive. All right? Or they're mooching and not taking care of responsibilities. Now it's a difference when the male is in the house and they're doing the things that they're supposed to be doing and should be doing. That is helping raise kids, being support system for like the wife, and taking care of the responsibilities. That's a difference. I don't care how present a person may be. If you're not handling business and doing something you're supposed to do, what the hell are you doing? That shit that pisses me off. That's me being 100 with you. Like, stop. Men need to man up, straight up, and stop being lazy and dirt bags. I don't care how they see it. Man, trust me, I grew up with a dirt bag. So I feel some kind of way about that, to be honest with you. And it's not just black people, it's everybody else.
I was gonna say that, right.
It's about everybody else. White, black, Puerto Rican, Asian, whoever. It's in all races. Don't get it twisted.
All right, number 9. Why are black people so good at sports? It says, this sounds like a compliment, but it's rooted in racialized thinking and ignores structural factors.
Genetics, and we're probably good in sports because we're not afraid to get dirty and get down in the trenches to do what we're supposed to do to be great at it. If you look at it, football, basketball, who do you want to sell tickets?
I don't know. Why don't you all play hockey? What's up with that?
We don't like the cold.
That's a good answer, actually. It's yours. Yeah. I just wonder.
Hold up, I like the cold, but I still wouldn't play hockey.
I don't like the cold.
Why not? You get that uniform, you can bust people up. What's the problem?
Nope, I need all my teeth.
No, bro.
Okay, that's fair. All right.
No.
Good enough.
Like, but man, it's genetics. If you look at it, if you want to really talk about it, it's straight genetics. Go down in history and look at it. Even when we was in slavery, who they had in the fields? They had us in the fields, working all the time. Even like building ditches, they had us out there building ditches. Why? Because we have strong backs, and you can work us to dadgum death. If you want to look at us in sports, we getting paid for play.
Right.
You might always say like it's paid slavery. Because guess what? They're going to go get us to put us on the front lines to make that money and sell tickets.
Can you elaborate on paid slavery? I don't know how I feel about that, bro. We really got to dive into this one.
All right,
I'm not going to let you just talk on this one, Paul. Go ahead.
So look, all right, so who runs these major football teams?
What do you mean who?
White executives. They're billionaires, right?
Here we go. Okay.
So what they're going to do, they're going to go find black players who they think are elite. And they're going to pay them these huge multi-million-dollar contracts. I'm stirring up smoke. So, yeah. And guess what? They're going to go get these players who they think can get down, get dirty, and knock people's heads off to sell tickets to help them win and bring in more money to like they multi-billion-dollar organizations. Because last time I checked, Cowboys, $1 billion team.
Right. Right.
Lakers, multi-billion-dollar team.
Correct.
Celtics, multi-billion-dollar teams. All these billionaires feeding money into like their pockets and their organizations. But when you look at it, can they be taking some of their money and putting it onto the community to help people? Last time I checked, you got a lot of homeless people out here. But yeah, and still, they're going to pay. It's pay for play. Let's go get this black person that can knock your head off and pay them like 6 years, $180 million to either shoot a ball, throw a ball, or knock somebody's head off a ball. My own personal opinion.
I mean, I just want the viewers to know that Paul and I are friends, so please don't be offended by this question, but I don't know what the hell you're talking about. And the reason I say that is because we're looking at a merit-based system, right? If the best
Is it?
If the best player is a black person, then the best player is a black person. So what difference does it make? And you're also compensating them, so that's not slavery. I don't remember the slaves getting a wage payout at the end of the week from the guy who was running the plantation.
Still, like,
I don't remember that, but okay.
But just because it doesn't look that way, but look at it. I don't. So let me ask you this question then.
Sure.
If you take every black person that you have on a team off of it and put a whole bunch of white people in their place, who do you think gonna sell the tickets? Do you think people gonna show up, see that go down?
Even I wouldn't go. Why would I?
My point exactly.
I want to see Kobe play, bro. I don't want to see some dummy play, some Jim James from fucking Florida.
But see, like that's my point. So if you look at slavery, right? If you look at slavery, would you put a white person in the field to pick cotton and
they're gonna burn up
and like dig and stuff like that?
They're gonna burn up.
Exactly.
Skin cancer.
Exactly. So what you gonna do? You gonna go get somebody that's black who you know is not gonna really. They're gonna go out there and they're gonna hustle and they're gonna get the job done. That's bar none. I don't care how you look at it, how you slice it. That's the way it is. That's the way it is. That is exactly so. That's what they feed. That's why they feed it. If they feel like a black person can, like, let's give them this money so he can get out of the hood. Pay slavery. I don't care how you slice it, how you look at it.
But Paul, isn't it incumbent on the person who was pulled out of the hood to go back to the hood and help the hood out? I don't understand. You're asking for someone who has no relation to understand what you grew up in or what that was like to come in and be your savior. No. Isn't that what we're trying to prevent? Is the white savior complex? I mean, isn't it enough already?
So here's the difference, right?
Okay.
Here's the difference. We will take our money in this country and go spend it everywhere else instead of building up what's in this country. I don't care because guess what? You have everybody want to say there's black people in the hood, but there's white people in the hood too. If it's not white people in the hood, you also got Hispanics in the hood. You also got Asians in the hood. Yep. There's more people in the hood than just black people, and that's the problem with this freaking country. They want to put everything on black people because why? It's easy. It's easy to blame the black person, but they don't want to blame nobody else. The last time I checked, if you go, like you got trailer parks, white people. But yet and still, they want to point to the hood where it's black people. The hood is made up of more than just black people. That's my issue. And that's what people don't damn see.
But we're talking about, black people who get the opportunity to play in the NFL or the NBA. Correct. Why won't they go back to their hood? Correct. To
some
uplift them? He's saying, why do you expect the owners of the team to do it? Why not the people who are on the team?
Because it's just like this. The owners will go and they'll spend X amount of $1 billion to run people out of that gum hood to build these multi-billion-dollar stadiums and that gum arenas. Instead of doing that, find somewhere else where it's undeveloped. Instead of running people out, help them develop the dat-gum neighborhood. Because just like these dat-gum colleges, the last time I checked, University of Alabama took over a dat-gum neighborhood and built up there. Same thing with the damn University of Georgia. Stop picking on people that have freaking living and start helping damn people out. That's my issue. I don't care how people see it.
But isn't that a Democrat policy? Because last I checked, Democrats only run cities. Republicans don't run cities. So if you got a problem with Augusta building a stadium right in the middle of a black neighborhood, aren't you really saying that you have a problem with how because they have to go through change. They don't just get to just build a stadium now. You got to go through all the rigmarole. You got to go through all the legalities and policies, and that's set up by who you just praised earlier, the Democrats. So I'm just letting you know.
So first off, I'm not praising Democrats.
Okay.
I'm not praising Democrats. I'm not praising anybody.
I'm not praising anyone. I want to be clear on that. I don't like either of them. But
so when it boils down to it, it's like this, right? Ain't nobody pointing the finger, but it's real easy. It's real easy to pick and push out underprivileged communities. And that's a fact. If you talking about, Democrats can do something, but like, what about all the other people? The last time I checked, there's only one player that I know of in the NBA that actually goes back and takes care of his community, make sure that people is doing things they're supposed to, and he's probably the most scrutinized person. And I don't care what nobody say, and that's LeBron James. LeBron James actually put kids in that college, pay for them to go pay for the education to make sure they're not debt free. He actually goes back and helps his community in that Ohio. And he's the only person that I know of. But yet and still, yes, I can talk about all these billionaires that run these teams and companies, because the next thing you know, they building all these damn stadiums. But what about the people that you just pushed out?
I mean, I totally agree with you. I just
And like, granted, yeah, you can talk about politics all you want to. Politicians care about themselves. Every now and then you have politicians that actually care about the people. Shout out to some that actually come down here to try to get this base in order. But yeah, it can take, the only thing it takes is one of those billionaires to help out to start making a change and a difference. Because if we are out there on the field breaking our backs and selling tickets, take some of that money that we got doing and assist with getting these communities back up off the damn ground instead of tearing them down.
But I'm saying you're getting paid for that, mate.
Okay. So what's your point? But they're getting paid too.
I didn't equate it to slavery.
Whoa.
So
Hold
I'm just putting it back on you.
All right, so think about it like this, right? Let's say like you paid for the Atlanta Hawks, right? And like you're a star player. They selling your jersey, right?
Yeah.
Your jersey is a hot seller, right? They're making millions of dollars off of your jersey.
Okay.
And you only get a $160 million contract for 6 years.
Okay.
Now, granted, they sell tickets every day. You go to that game for 82 games. They making billions of dollars off for you. So you really think, so who you think should really be helping out? That person is making billions of dollars or the person that has $160 million?
Let me ask you a question. When you came to that, whatever team it is, the Hawks in this case, did you sign a contract?
Yeah, they signed a contract.
What does the contract say?
You play for them.
That's right. And they own you.
See what I'm saying? Just like a slave.
No.
Hold on.
You're getting
Thank you.
paid.
No, hold on.
No, because again, if you're equating it to slavery, the slaves didn't sign contracts with the plantation owners, so it's still different.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
What was the contract with the slave owner?
All right, so like here.
Don't beat me on Sundays. What was the contract, Paul?
Yeah, hold on. No. So like,
I'm serious.
Here's the difference. Yeah, the slave owners that fed you, they slept with the dadgum wives, and guess what? If you didn't do the job, you got beat.
Right.
That's the thing. So
sometimes they didn't feed you. I mean,
but see, like, here's the thing. You say like, oh, that's the difference. The same thing is not. Today, if you look at it, yes, you sign a contract. Therefore, I own you. The slave owner owned that slave, right or wrong. So that's paid. That is paid slavery. They don't care how you slice it.
It's two different things.
No, it's not.
If you sign a contract and you willfully give away your rights and privileges, that's your fault. I'm not blaming the owner. If the owner gets you, if you're dumb enough, let's just say it like this. If you're dumb enough to say that as part of the contract that they get to break your leg every other week, then you signed it. I mean, where is your
It's
merit?
paid slavery, bro.
No,
Isn't it the same thing with a 9-to-5? When you sign a contract with them, you can't smoke, you can't
smoke,
you
can't
can't do this, you can't do that. It's the same thing.
So under that guidance, I'm a white slave. That's what you're saying.
For the
Let's
company
put
you
it
work
out
for.
there.
Yeah,
That's
for the company you work for,
I'm just saying,
you are.
Let's just
For the company you work for, you are.
Let's call it even. So then everyone who works is a slave then. So it kind of makes the term meaningless. We're all the same then.
Unless you're an entrepreneur and you own your own.
But how did
But
they
you
get
still
there?
answer to someone
You
else.
just think that somebody just woke up one day and they were just like, oh, here's my $1 billion. I'm going to just go do what I want to do today. I don't think so.
So here's the difference, right? So a person that, now granted, you have some people that work a job to a certain point, and so they get the money they need to go start their own, because what they say is, I don't want to answer to anyone but myself.
But you still answer to someone, because you still answer to the U.S. government.
We all do.
We all do.
We all
It's
do.
true. We all do.
We all do.
Even billionaires answer to them.
Sometimes. All right.
No comment on that one.
You ready to move on?
Go ahead.
Okay. Last question. Number 10. Do all black people support Black Lives Matter? I think that's a silly question, but that's the question that we have. Good. What you got to say, Hassan? I mean, I think it's clearly no, is it not? Not everyone supports everything,
No,
obviously.
I understand the cause. I understand why it was put in place, but I just don't think it was run correctly. I see why we did it, and I see why people, don't fully understand it, but I don't think, no, we don't all support it.
Don't you think, and this is coming from me, obviously, but don't you think that the Black Lives Matter movement was co-opted by white people? Isn't that the problem? From my standpoint, that is the problem.
So-
is that it was your movement and it was co-opted by a bunch of losers, and then they ran it into the ground.
Like what I think is when you look at when Black Lives Matter really came into about, it was because of something tragic that happened,
Correct.
right? So when that young man was murdered, brutally murdered, that's what kicked it off. All right. Now, I think over the years the lines got blurred and people got away from what it's really supposed to be about. And then when it started getting up to its height, that's when you start getting all this other all lives matter and blah 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 blah.
Because they were thinking we were just saying just our lives matter, but that's
Correct.
not the case.
That's not the case. What we were trying to do is bring a highlight to things that things like that should not happen because it's unjust. Period. Because I can tell you for a fact that I have been harassed by wearing a hoodie before. Straight up. That's not fun. To be somewhere and you go just to get a dat-gum burger and then you get the dat-gum restaurant get circled by a dat-gum cop because you're wearing a hoodie. That ain't fun. And you worried about what's going on and they sit there and stare at you the whole entire time. Let's be real. See, everybody want to talk about, that's not true, that's not true. You ain't lived it. I have. I literally have been pulled over driving while black. That's a real thing. To have your car illegally searched. So yeah, if Black Lives Matter would have stayed to the point of where it's about, it would have been a beautiful thing. Because maybe certain things like that happens and still happen today probably would have calmed down a little bit.
So where do you think they lost their way then?
Money.
Yep.
Money. See, I think what money clouds a lot of people's view. When certain people start getting that type of money into their pocket, they forget who they are sometimes. But what people fail to realize is this: that's who they were from the jump. The money just brought it out.
That's on.
No, I actually agree with him for once. Well, for twice.
Yo. I don't see you pushing back on a lot of what Paul says.
No, he's making a lot of sense.
Okay.
But yeah, I agree with him. It's the money. It's just like you can grow up with people and they have nothing, you have nothing, you both have nothing. Then one of you gets something, they start acting different.
Yep.
Yeah. You see it in regular, in regular life, in your everyday life. I grew up with people now they act totally different than what they did when we were younger. We were both, happy to get $1, $10 or whatever. Now they got money, and now all of a sudden everyone else is broke. You don't remember when you were, so it's sort of like the same concept, same thing.
Yeah.
With that, they saw the money and they went left.
Yeah, and that happens all the daggum time. I mean, like, if you want to look at everything that goes on, like even when me talking about the paid slavery, it's all about the money, man. Sometimes people get money and they forget who the hell they are. That's bar none. Money clouds a lot of people's vision.
That I agree with. Cheers. That's absolutely right. It is. Money is the root of all evil.
The love of money.
Or the love of money.
The love of money
is the root of it. That's
root of all
correct.
evil.
Right.
I mean,
It's just true.
yo, don't get it twisted, man. So when you start talking about subjects like this, it's gonna get heated, it's gonna get tense, it's different viewpoints. However, it's stuff that needs to be discussed. At the end of the day, If you got any questions, any gripes, or complaints about what's been said on this podcast, don't be afraid to drop a comment, drop a DM, hit us up. We will answer any questions, and we will happy to read your question out on the podcast, and then we will actually speak on it. So once again, this Black Chat podcast, hopefully we have brought some light to questions that people are afraid to ask Black people and many more. So turn it back over to my man, Robbie J.
Appreciate that, Paul. Yeah, I agree. I mean, don't send me any ignorant comments. I won't read them. I am not going to deal with that. If you don't agree with me, then we have a problem. I'm just kidding. But I agree with Paul's philosophy, which is if you have a question or a comment for the podcast, if you'd like your question to be read on the podcast itself, and we'll actually, as he said, go into it and talk about those details, we're happy to do that. I'm Robbie J. Appreciate you all listening, and we'll catch you in the next episode.